All right, welcome to Crown Council Live. This is our live weekly show where we connect with the community of the Crown Council. We're thankful that you would join us, whether it's live or recorded. I am Stuart Anderson, and I'm grateful to have you here. We have four incredible guests, and we will kick off those guests by hearing from Alaska Premier Dental. We're thankful for our TOPS coaches who are there, who introduce us to the doctors of Alaska Premier and walk us through what they're doing on site. Our TOPS coaches are constantly around the country, working with teams one-on-one, creating systems in their practices. And this is the part of the live stream where we get to connect with those coaches and see what they're working on. Coach's Corner is what we call it. So let's go to Alaska first and hear from our team there. All right, welcome. All right, this is a recorded segment for our live stream, although we're only 30 minutes before the live stream, so it's technically, we're as close to live as you could possibly get. So joining us from Alaska, where they say it's still dark. What time is it in Alaska?
Yeah.
8:30.
It's
8:30.
It looks like 8:30 at night, though. Yeah.
Very good. Chris, will you please introduce who you are with?
Absolutely. We have our awesome doctors from Alaska Premier Dental Group, our owner doctors. This is Dr. Brian Wojtowski. I can't look at the computer while I'm doing this, as well as Dr. Clark Basham. And we have been working together with these awesome guys for about 13 years now.
Yeah.
And their team, and even trekking through snow, sleet, and everything else. We get together a few times a year to really focus on how we can uplift the team, really get their top skills in alignment and support them so that they have success with their patients every day.
Nice. Very good. And then, hi, Pam. How are you?
Hey, Stu, I'm wonderful. How about yourself?
Very good. I'm glad you're here.
Pam.
Sorry, Pam. Sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, I think it would be really fun to hear from the two doctors. What have been the two biggest challenges that you guys have seen in the last year, and how have you worked on them?
We know that doctors go through a lot of challenges off and on all the time. That's why Pam and I have a job. And could you share some successes that have happened over the last couple of months when we've honed in on what to do with the team and their skills and things that we've been working on consistently?
I mean, both of them, I like that you changed that because both of them, they reek optimism.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks, Pam.
Yeah.
Thanks. Go ahead. Something that I think about that the word that you guys talk about, entropy, the natural entropy. And over the last couple of years, that entropy has just been accelerated by a number of factors outside of all of our control.
Sure.
Right. And so I think having amazing coaches like Pam and Chris working with us to try and manage that entropy and the accelerated entropy has been just necessary. Everything from the mental fortitude to the hard practice skills to the systems, implementing systems and making sure existing systems are being followed and honored. That's been invaluable over the last few years.
Yep, definitely. And a part of that too is we had a change in leadership, and with that change in leadership, we changed the structure of our leadership. And so that has been key, with you helping us implement that and bringing it all together. And it's been a great move for us.
Nice. I can't wait to name this segment, They Reek Optimism.
You're making that a t-shirt.
T-shirt. Clark. That's good. Hey, maybe Chris and Pam and doctors too. What is it? Maybe 2 or 3 secrets or keys that you guys do to have such a strong team culture? How do you make sure that your team is strong? We handed the Team of the Year award to this team for the humanitarian work that they did last year. So they received the Humanitarian Team of the Year at the annual event. I know that's a big part of what you do, doing good. But what else? What else are you guys committed to make sure your team and culture is strong?
Can I share one thing, Chris? And then I'll hand it to you. So Stu, for me, where we first start is it starts with the top, the leadership, partnering with doctors that care about their team, make the investment in them so that they can perform at their best, so that they don't just throw them in and say, okay, figure it out. It's easy to partner and foster the type of culture that they want so that it feels good for them, so that when they're serving patients together, it's a no-brainer that they'll walk home feeling fulfilled. So that's, for me, it starts from the top, really partnering with doctors that care about their team members. So kudos to you both.
Thanks, Pam. And that's what I was gonna say too, is that we hold true to our culture and to each other in the same culture, and that helps us along the way and keeps our team strong in the culture also.
Nice. Very cool.
You said it better.
And
Chris-
we'll let-
Chris, what will you guys work on today? What is it that you've got on your calendar, on your agenda?
Well, because we did Uber Focus on Tuesday as a whole organization, the team mapped out some wildly important goals. And Pam and I separate and conquer, where we take what they committed to and we will work side by side, one-on-one with team members so that they can feel success in how they're completing the goals that they set. We'll be working on things like how to link better with patients, how to make sure that every patient goes home with a clear picture of what they want and how we're going to help them get what they said they wanted, with their financial arrangements, everything in alignment. Because the team really wants to feel like every patient they touch and connect with gets what they want, which is everything and beyond their smile. Here.
Very cool.
Anything
Nice.
that you could add to?
Nope, couldn't have said it better myself.
Very
Yes,
cool.
that's our biggest focus today.
Nice.
And it's
Hey, a lot.
the plan where it's going to hold all the team accountable for what we're trying to accomplish. So it's great.
And then how often are you guys meeting? How often do you do this? As Pam and Chris mentioned, maybe a couple times a year. Is that necessary for the entropy?
Ah,
At a minimum.
Yeah.
Should be every other week.
we joke that, we should have shirts that say we kick entropy's tail.
Yes.
Get in there and that's the goal. So
Very
it doesn't keep showing its ugly head. We got to get in there and stir things up and help that entropy get out of the way.
And you
Absolutely.
check in with us and our leadership once a month. So
I love, he's getting major points right now.
He is. Cadence of accountability. Yeah, it doesn't have, there has to be a cadence in place. And so thank you for saying that. I forgot about that.
Well, and these doctors have done a really great thing where we've been able to partner together with them, and they've put leaders on their team that they've helped develop, and the leads have just really been soaking it in and being better leaders. And so they're in a position to lead their team. And that's what's helped us partner together and really map out how we can get a cadence of accountability and rely on the team to also be self-led with.
Nice.
Mhm.
Very cool.
Last but not least, you hear a word that's being hurled around is leaders. That's what they refer to their team as. There's no management here. We manage things and we lead people. And so both of these wonderful doctors sitting next to me are big components of fostering leadership and not management.
Yeah. Hey, well, they're leaders in the Crown Council membership. They've been a focus of our awards program, our Mentor of the Month program. I mean, everybody looks to this awesome team to set the standard when it comes to giving, to leadership, humanitarian work. So we're so grateful for you guys and thankful for all that you offer to the membership. Thank you.
Thank
you
you.
too, Stu.
We wish we could be in front of the window where you could see all the snow, but again.
We'll imagine it. Hey, it's dumping here in Salt Lake. We're going to see it.
You guys, you have his own.
That's right.
Cool. Hey, thanks so much, you guys. Have a great day.
Thank you.
You too.
too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you, Alaska Premier. Our next guest is Dr. Blake Cameron. We're grateful for Blake and all that he does to make the community stronger in Crown Council, especially our young doctors, our Smiles for Life program, and everything that he does to lift the standards of dentistry with his example. Just grateful for Blake and all that he is building and doing and how he is growing and serving the Crown Council community. So fun to hear from Blake, and we're grateful for him and his leadership in Crown Council. All right. Joining us, Dr. Blake Cameron. Welcome, Blake.
Thanks.
He's joining us from beautiful Logan, Utah. Greg Anderson also joining me. Greg.
Morning.
Hey, show us
Afternoon.
the emblem on your shirt, just for document purposes.
See, there we go.
No, other side. No. There it is. Kapalua, everyone. Just in case you were wondering what that neon shirt is from, beautiful Kapalua, Hawaii. Wonderful. Great to
And I
celebrate.
did not earn this shirt. Someone who went there and golfed
Yes.
there may have brought me this
True.
shirt.
That is true. What a great
Well, I
person
think
that
you
was.
still earned that then.
Yeah,
I guess I earned it. I
exactly.
probably paid for the airline tickets or something. I probably
That's
got.
funny.
We have had some great outings at Kapalua.
Blake, I finished up Young Dentist program last weekend, kind of your stomping grounds there. Any fond memories of Young Dentist program that you would share?
You know, I met a couple other dentists there that I've stayed in touch with off and on over the last, gosh, what's it been, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And that's actually part of how I got introduced to Crown Council from another local dentist who had gone through that and said, hey, you're coming up on 5 years out of school, you should jump in.
Who was it? Who asked
That
you
was-
to do it?
That was Celeste Mortensen.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
So yeah,
Yeah, good group, big group. I hope we can repeat that many new young docs. But David said it best when we finished. He was like, if anyone doubted if dentistry was in trouble, he's like, you just got to look at this group and know that they're not. It was a great, as usual, an incredible group to be with. So,
yeah, it's awesome.
hey, so we were digging into your numbers here. And so Smiles for Life started in your practice in 2017. And then you did about $2,000, and then 2021. So last year you guys did $6,000, and then this year you're almost to 12, so doubled. And so I thought it'd be fun to have you on to talk about what you're doing different, what you're doing in general, advice you'd give to other practices or team members that are doing Smiles for Life for the first time or want to be successful. So is that a good plan?
Yeah.
Do you want
Yeah,
to start? Go ahead. Do you want to start? Maybe start with your practice, where it is, what it's like, just real quick.
Sure. So we're up in Cache Valley, north end of Utah. We've got 3 doctors with us now. That's part of what's helped with the growth. We brought a 3rd doctor on. It's been 2 years ago now this month. So that has obviously increased the volume of patients coming through our office, which lends itself to improving Smiles for Life as well. Word of mouth has gotten, I would say the last 2 years has gotten a lot better. We will get a couple dozen patients that come in just for whitening during the campaign. So that's certainly helped. Just the trajectory of the practice has helped that go up. And then this year we made the decision, since we had quite a number of patients last year that asked if they could use their HSA. And since you can't with Smiles for Life, we decided part of our contribution will be having them pay the practice with their HSA, and then we turned around at the end of the campaign and ran my credit card for the balance of what we'd collected through HSA payments. And that alone, I think, was a $4,000 chunk of people that wanted to use their HSA for whitening.
Very cool.
So it was a nice ad. That was one of our business team members' ideas, saying, hey, we get lots of questions about this, and it's always a bummer when we say, oh, well, it's a charity, so you can't, it's not classified that way, so you can't. And we said, well, hey, it's a small amount of fees, and then we get some things back on the credit card when we run it. So it was pretty close to a wash for us, but a great way to increase the number of people that can use it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting too. And Greg, correct me if I'm wrong. You're the expert here. Everyone's always asking for a charitable contribution receipt for donating to Smiles for Life, but it is in fact illegal to receive a charitable IRS receipt for a donation of something that you received goods or services for. Did I explain that correctly, Greg?
Well, yeah, the IRS rule is that if you received something in return for your donation, then
Not a
you
real
can only
donation.
declare as a contribution the amount that is over the true value of what you received. And the reason we don't give tax advice
Hmm.
is that
Can't wait for this.
I'm carefully wording this, the value of teeth whitening is different in every office. So if I'm in Boston, or if I'm in New York, or if I'm in Los Angeles, or I'm in Logan, Utah, there might be a guy right next door to Blake's office that gives away whitening for free if you're a new patient. And so it could be argued that the dollar value of whitening is zero, and the contribution is what you made. There also could be a guy next door that's charging $500 for whitening, and we're offering it a discount at $199. So we always say, go talk to your tax advisor. We're really good at whitening teeth. We're really good at charity work. We're not real good at tax advice.
Okay, smart. Nice.
But it is, but a tax deductible contribution is different than a charitable contribution. People are giving it because they want to do good in Blake's case for the family place, which is their charity of choice. And hopefully people feel like they're doing good, even if it may not be deductible for them.
Very good. Great answer. Thank
Too
you very
long,
much.
but
Yeah, no, it was very
you
good.
got the whole thing.
Hey, Blake, maybe talk about why, like, this is a great, just explain why you do Smiles for Life. Why have you made it part of your practice?
You know, we have always looked for ways to do good in the community, and this is a really easy way, a fun way. We've got, for most people, whitening is not an emergency. So they're thinking about it, they'd like to do it. And so it's easy to talk to patients throughout the year saying, hey, every year we're going to do our charity drive. All the proceeds go to the family, to the family place and Smiles for Life. So it's one of those things where people feel, I know we have some people that feel almost guilty about doing something for themselves, right? And they want to whiten their teeth, but they feel a little guilty about it. And when you add on the layer of doing some good, it makes it really easy for them. And it's fun for us because we see a lot of people coming through that have wanted to do it. It's that last little nudge in the direction of going ahead and getting it done. And on the flip side, they're also great patients as a result. We have a handful that come that aren't patients of ours that get whitened during Smiles for Life, but the majority are great patients that appreciate it. They keep whitening over the years, and it's just a fun element. Whitening for me has never been a money generating service. It's been more of a kind of a gateway to the rest of dentistry and to long-term relationships. And Smiles for Life just makes that really easy to do.
Nice.
I
Whitening-
believe
And it gets all the team on board.
I believe it was Steve who said that is making the decision with emotion and justifying it with logic.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That I'm going to do this because it's for charity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
that last little thing. Oh well, I'm also doing good, so
Why not?
why not?
Why not? Whitening,
Yeah.
dentistry's gateway
Yeah.
drug.
I like that. I have actually
Very
written
cool.
that down.
Blake, we often talk about one of the biggest pieces of advice that we share is having a team member run Smiles for Life or make sure that it's taken care of smoothly. Do you do that in your practice? Do you have like a team member that runs it?
Yeah, so what we've done is we've broken up some of our year in segments where Smiles for Life this year was run by our dental assisting team, and our team lead was the one that spearheaded that, and she assigned one person that was going to be in charge of making sure all the trays were made and all that. So then we have our business teams in charge of our annual patient appreciation event, and our hygiene teams in charge of, they each kind of have one big project they spearhead. So each team owns something. And that's worked really well for us. Dental assistants do the lion's share of the work when it comes to whitening. So it made easy sense to have them in charge.
Nice. Okay. Very good.
So
Um,
next year, if you make the admin guys in charge of whitening, is there like a contest? Have they got to do 12 grand or
That's
it's?
a good idea.
You know, I think they'd have to do all the impressions. That would be the contest.
That would
How many
be-
times do we have to redo them?
That would not be good.
Although I do have two that I'm sure would make sure we do just over 12, if that were the case.
Overachievers.
Yeah.
Before we started, you talked a little bit about your local charity. Maybe explain how you picked your local charity and your connection, how that's helped your Smiles for Life whitening.
So the Family Place is a local nonprofit here in Cache Valley that's, I don't know if they would like how I phrase it, but it's kind of a catch-all for families in need. Whether it's the parents that there's an emergency and they don't have family and they need somewhere to take their kids. They've got staff on call to babysit. They've got mental health services there. We got introduced to them. I think it was one of my team members that introduced me to them about 6 years ago, as we were looking for a place to help with Supper Santa in the winter months. So that was, we sponsored 6 families or something and did our quarterly retreat activity, doing shopping and then wrapping the gifts at the Family Place. And that started some conversations. We have a handful of patients that work there now that come see us. And it's been
Nice.
a great relationship that Smiles for Life's been an awesome tool to help sponsor the good they do.
I love that word that relationship. Some practices could use that reminder that that partner, that charity partner can be a real partner if the relationship is developed properly with time and with care and doing it together rather than just being the charity that you hand a check to and then they're like, who were those guys? I don't remember who they are.
Yeah, it's been
So-
really cool over the last, especially 3 years. Some of honestly, the patients we've gained because of what we've done with the Family Place, the inherent trust that just starts right from the get-go, because they know that we're a dental office like the 50 other offices here in the Valley. We also love to do good and participate in awesome things. So
Dang, that's cool advice.
it's
Great.
fun.
Very good. We are imagine you're talking to Blake Cameron and he's starting Smiles for Life for his very first year in 2023. What advice would you give to that new first year practice?
I would say involve your team. Find a local nonprofit or charity that you can partner with. That's going to be the key. And getting the team involved in it, I think, really helps, because then they buy into it right away. Explain really well what it's all about, and put someone in charge. Have a goal sheet. Make sure we do weekly meetings as well as our morning opportunity meetings, and reviewing the progress as you go along so that everyone stays excited about it. I mean, set a goal, try to be reasonable, but set a goal and then push for it. Spread the
Nice.
word. And it'll grow every year you do it if your practice is healthy and your practice is growing.
Nice. Hey, I'm looking at your annual event attendance confirmations. In the 23rd annual event, 6 people. 24th annual event, 8. Then 25th, 7. 14, 19, 20 people for the 20. Tell us a bit about maybe, I just want to switch gears for one sec. How does Smiles for Life play into you guys attending the annual event?
It didn't before, but this year we definitely have a few that want to be there because,
Nice.
well, one in particular who's going to be retiring,
Okay.
but wants to be there. She feels a lot of ownership for what we've done, and she's going to retire after January is over because she wants to come to the annual event.
Cool.
So
Is there any other reason that you, just as a spot for the annual event that you guys attend? Why is it part of your yearly CE?
So when we started coming first, I think it's a great way to bring some team members. You guys do a great job at creating an experience that's both fun and motivational, and helps with, get some conversation started that really is about not just the office, but the individuals, the members of the team. And I love motivational stuff. If I could recreate it, I would, but I can't. I mean, I've looked at what I have this conversation with my partner, well, if we didn't, what else would we do? How could we
Yeah.
create that experience? And I just don't think we can. So that's, last year was the first year we brought our entire team. And that was a reward for some goals that we crushed the year before.
Cool.
And talked about, hey, we think we can do it again. And so we went ahead and signed everyone up again.
Nice.
Obviously, this next one's going to be the easiest for us because Salt Lake's
Yep.
less than a 2-hour drive for us. But
Yep.
it's a lot of fun, and our team members appreciate it.
Fun. Very cool. Gregor, any questions for Blake about Smiles for Life?
No, that's all I can think of. I'm interested in one of the things that you said about your team member retiring. And it reminds me that at the annual event, one of the things we really like to do is recognize team members who have demonstrated real value in the practice. So I hope you'll nominate her for something.
I will definitely nominate her because she would love that. And she's been with us for 15 years, longer than I've been with the office.
Yeah.
She was there when I bought it, and she's been amazing.
Nice. That would
Terrific.
be really fun. I mean, such a fun place to recognize everybody at the annual event. At least we try our best to recognize as many as possible. So
Oh,
very cool.
absolutely.
Any big plans for next year? You guys going to go for 30 grand or 40? I mean, you guys already looking to 2023 or?
You know, we're focused right now on our patient appreciation event coming up in a few weeks, and a humanitarian trip we've got right before that. So I haven't
Nice.
turned my attention there yet, but we will.
Wait, bouncy houses? What are you going to have? Petting zoo? What are you guys doing?
Yeah, fair, fair type games, and we've looked at bounce houses or the fair swings or something like that. We're in a parking lot of a dying mall. So I say we have the biggest dental parking lot in the world because there's no anchor store in the mall anymore. It's us and almost no one else. So we've got a huge parking lot. We're going to use it.
Fun. And are you going on a humanitarian trip to, where are you guys going?
We're heading to Ecuador. It's with Choice. My parents happen to be in Ecuador right now, serving a mission for our church.
Got it.
So
Sweet.
my dad's going to join us for the week, and my mom's going to come up a day or two, and
No way.
got 12 of us going. So it should be awesome.
What a great
We
time.
love the
What-
people at Choice.
Yeah, choice.
They're awesome. My family's been involved with Choice since I was about 14. And
They're of course hosting us in Guatemala in October. And it's awesome.
yeah, they're a great organization. They've got great people.
Very cool.
So
All righty, Blake. Appreciate your time. Appreciate your leadership. You are absolutely you are like the next generation of Crown Council All-Stars. So appreciate everything that you do to lead and kind of guide the upcoming young docs. I mean, you're crushing right now. You guys are doing so good. It's fun to watch. So good job. Keep it up.
well, thanks for making something so fun to be a part of.
Okay. Gregor, anything else as we sign off?
No, I got something for him offline when we're done.
Okay. Very good. Thanks, Blake. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you, Blake. Our next two interviews were some of my favorites. They're actually recorded. They are favorites from some people and doctors who have returned recently from our humanitarian trips. One is Dr. Chris Heap and Sarah Heap and their experience in the Dominican. I love to hear their story, and I'm grateful for the many times that they have joined us on Crown Council humanitarian trips. So let's go to the Heaps first and hear a short interview with them about their experience participating in a Crown Council humanitarian trip. All right, welcome to Crown Council's live stream. I'm Stuart. I'm here with the Heaps, both of them, Sarah and Chris. Welcome.
Thank you.
They just returned from the Dominican, and we thought we'd recap. I mean, while it's still fresh, we got to talk about everything that happened, good and bad, so you guys can remember it. Because usually after a couple weeks, I don't know, it just kind of gets fuzzy, and then you're like, we should go back. We should do it again. So how many times have you guys been?
I've been five times, and Sarah's been four.
4 times. Okay, cool. And so you guys just got back fresh Sunday. Today it's Wednesday night.
Mhm.
Sarah, maybe I'll ask you first. What was the most memorable experience from the trip that you're kind of looking back on?
Actually the last day was the best day for me. everyone kept saying it's a dangerous village or community, so they had police there, but I feel like they were the most kindest, most genuine people to work with. The kids were fantastic, so loving, just a really great community. And so that day stands out the best for me.
Isn't that interesting how different communities have different, like just a different feel? Isn't that?
Mhm, yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
How about you, Chris? What stands out? What will you remember from this trip?
This trip, it really hit me two things. Number one, how amazing it is to get a group of dentists and hygienists that don't know each other and just throw them in a room, and everybody puts their egos aside and just somehow just becomes this awesome team in a super short amount of time. And I just think in general, the way that dentists are and hygienists are, we tend to be a little egoistic sometimes, or we really want things a certain way.
Yeah.
And everyone realizes real quick, like, it's not going to be my way, it's going to be the team's way. And so everyone just gels in no time. It's amazing. I mean, you build a whole dental clinic in 45 minutes on the very first day these people have ever worked together, and you just start seeing patients. And that I really loved a lot. And then yeah, just seeing for whatever reason this time hit me more than others, just how happy all of these people are with really what we would consider nothing. I mean, they have nothing, and they're just so happy and kind and giving of their energy to us and our kids that went, and to everybody that was there. And that hit this time, for whatever reason, that hit me harder than other trips.
Very cool. I know I would call you guys prolific humanitarians. You go a lot. Maybe I'll ask Sarah first.
Sorry,
What,
I'm not sure about that.
Sarah, what is it about the trips that brings you guys? Why would you go back and back and back? What is it about it that calls to you to go back?
Oh, that's a good question. It feels really good to serve people that, I'm not sure how to explain what I'm trying to say, who have little to no resources. It feels really good to serve those people. Someone had asked, why aren't we doing more humanitarian work here in the US? And I just thought, well, we have more opportunities here, more programs, more situations where if you want help here in the US, you can pretty much find it. Where people in the Dominican Republic, there's not a lot of help and resources. And so I just feel like it's something so little that I can go and do to go and help someone in a really big way. And it just feels so good.
Nice. That's awesome. Chris, you guys always take your well, I can't say always. The trips that I've seen, you take your children. How come? Why do you guys make the effort to take your some kids with you?
Yeah, we've had at least one of the kids on every trip, and they need to see it, right? Like from a young age, I think the best way to break down walls as far as just ignorance or prejudice or whatever it is to go and be with other people and learn other cultures and see what they have. And I really want my kids to see how happy these people are with so little, and to help for my kids to see that happiness isn't linked to stuff, isn't linked to a bigger house or where you live, that you can be happy anywhere. It kind of feels like how the Grinch Stole Christmas at the end, where the Who's are happy even though they don't have Christmas. Like, I want my kids to see that in real life. And also it's like, I talk about it every time, but seeing our kids play with these other kids, and they don't speak the same language, and it takes them about like 2 seconds, and they're all best friends and they know each other's names, and they're like making up these crazy games with complex rules, but they don't speak the same language. They just figure it out just because they have this other language of just kids, just playing. And that's just neat. I mean, I think I was on the trip we were on with your family. One of my favorite stories was our son Evan was just over sitting on this jungle gym with a Dominican kid, and they were like talking back and forth, each in their own language, and they seemed like they understood each other. And we're like, what in the world are these guys talking about? And so I asked him, and he's like, oh, he was telling me about how he saw this huge butterfly and he chased it and caught it and this and that. And he was telling me this whole story. And I'm like, how in the world do you even know, like, what are you talking about? I don't know if he's making it up or what, but it was so cool that they were connecting just on a kid level. And so I, for my kids to experience that at a young age, it's invaluable.
Nice. I love that. When we served on our trip together, which is the last trip that I've been on. So it's almost been 3 years for most of the Crown Council since we've served on any humanitarian trip. So I was super grateful to see you guys out serving, and Joey was there. You guys got to serve with Joe from our office. When you come home, Sarah, this time, so like you've arrived at home, what is it in your mind, whether it's like silent goals or you're like, man, coming home, I want to be this or do this different, or anything like that as you reflected on your trip when you came home?
Every time I come home, I think, oh my gosh, how can I get myself in a position to help more people? And I also come home saying I need to learn Spanish. But back to the helping people, then you just go back to your normal life, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh gosh, all this time has gone by and I haven't done anything special or haven't made an effort. But so something I'm going to try to do different this time is, whether it's big or small, try to help someone here in my life, in my community. Just be more open for the opportunities to help.
Nice. I love that. And it's such a great time of year. We usually go on those November trips, and then
Yeah.
it's always inspiring to come home and give my kids like, here's a Christmas list. You can have clean water and some new socks. That's it. That's all you get.
Right.
Chris, if you were to maybe give 2 or 3 tips to a team who is looking to go to the Dominican, or what they're going off, and you say, hey, I've been 4 or 5 times. These are some things that you got to do to make sure this is the best trip you have. What would you say to them?
Awesome. So I've been thinking about that, and I came up with 1 or 2, but I also threw it out to my team that was on the trip with us recently, just get their insights.
Cool.
And theirs were even better than mine, but I'll share kind of the list real quick. So my main one, I would say, is when you get down there and you're working, we tend to, we kind of have an unofficial goal every day of how many patients you'd like to see. And we're competitive people. So we're trying to hit the goal. And I find that sometimes by trying to do too much of that, sometimes you forget to just stop and go outside and just connect with the people and just be with them. It's okay to take 10 minutes away from treating patients directly to go out and just throw a ball with a kid, or just wave to people and interact. Because that's why we're there, is to connect with people. And I noticed that a lot on this trip, is the doctors were so focused on treating every single person, which is super noble and honorable. But I felt like some of them maybe by the end of I think it was the last day, I encouraged all of them. I said, take a break. Like, what you're doing is awesome, but go out and be with the people. And I think those are the memories you bring back, I think, more than the teeth you fixed, for sure.
Nice.
So some other ones from my staff, they said to just forget yourself and serve. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's trying to do your job in the most difficult situation possible. Just accept it, and you're just there to do the best you can and just serve. A more practical one of my staff said that they noticed is some teams had organized all their stuff into like tackle boxes. So
like little organizing bins.
Yeah, or little bins. So they could just pull it out, set it on the table, open it, and it was fine. And so they were able to set up in half the time of other people that were trying to grab supplies everywhere. So like a tackle box full of some stuff is great. They said, one of them said, get out of your comfort zone, meaning go and meet other people from other teams, other people that have come to serve. Sit next to other people on the bus. Don't always just sit with your best friend from your office. go and learn and talk to these people because they're from all over the US, and there's every single one of them that I talk to, they always have such fascinating stories. Like they're like superheroes. They have these cool backstories that got
Yeah.
them to go serve in
Yeah.
the Dominican. And so don't stay in your little bubble of people. Like do the anti-COVID thing. Like don't have your bubble. Go outside the bubble and be a super spreader of
Socially monogamous. Just don't.
exactly. My hygienist said that in between each patient, maybe drink some water, and like she would have like a little handful of almonds. A lot of them said that liquid IV stuff that you can get just to stay really hydrated. Just make sure you're drinking the whole time so that you don't get burnt out and just really bogged down. We had a couple of really hot days this time, and towards the end of the day, you could tell people were dehydrated and just
They're melting. You could see them melting, just starting to melt. It's like their body, their face, everything was just, it was hot.
Yeah, and the last two, I talked about this with the doctors especially, but just realize that you're not going to do your best filling of all time. It's not going to be your best anything of all time when you're down there, but just understand that the best you can do in that situation is enough. Like it is a blessing to them. You're not going to love how that filling looks because you just can't make it the way you could back home, but just know that you've done something awesome for them, and just know that that's good enough. Your best is good enough. And then the last one that I really liked was one of my assistants said her thing that was to take time at the end of the day to just reflect on that day and maybe write in a journal, just a paragraph about your highlights from that day, the person that you connected with the most, something you learned about yourself. Just capture those moments day by day so that you don't just let them slide. Because it's like you said, a couple of weeks go by and you kind of forget all those special moments. So that was it. Mostly they come down to just jump in, serve, meet other people, love the people that you're serving, and take time to take care of your body and reflect on what an awesome experience you're having every day. But I mean, it's hard, but it's worth it. It's so worth it.
Would you add any to the list, Sarah? Any?
That was good. That was a good list. The girls
Great.
in the office came up with some good stuff.
That's awesome. Thanks, Chris, for preparing that. I'm glad you asked your team. I should have asked you to do that. Appreciate it. Very good.
No, that's all right. I knew that they would have more wisdom than I had. So
Kay Heaps, I'm sure grateful for you. I wish I could have been there on your trip with you. It would have been fun, but hopefully we got many more ahead of us, right?
Yeah.
absolutely.
All right. Grateful for you guys. Thanks for sharing. And man, Chris, this is your second appearance on live stream.
Wow.
Is it? Oh, it is. Yeah.
It's
The last
very-
one was talking about how to raise money for Smiles for Life, and this one's like the fruition of that.
Very few have made 2 appearances, so congratulations.
Oh wow! I'm in a special
You're in
group.
a club.
I'm in a club of friends of Stuart when he needs somebody in a bind. He can call up.
Exactly. You idiot. All right, you guys. Thanks so much. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Heaps. Grateful for them and thankful that Dr. Chris Heap actually won Best Doctor to Work For. He is an incredible leader and example in the community. So thank you, Dr. Heap. Our final interview today is with the Bainers. We're grateful for them. Dale and Lynn have been longtime friends of mine, as well as leaders and examples in Crown Council. One thing that I want to point out is that at the end of the interview, Dale talks a little bit about his mastermind group and the success and things that it has brought to his life. I want to highlight Crown Council mastermind groups. If you are not part of one, they are consistently reported on this show as the most important thing that any Crown Council doctor, or any doctor for that matter, should be doing with their team and with other doctors for their professional and personal success. So if you would like to join a Crown Council mastermind group, please reach out to us at Crown Council, 1-800-276-9658, or go to crowncouncil.com. And in the Premium Member Hub, you can request to be part of a Crown Council mastermind group. We would love to connect you with any group and get you started on that journey. So thanks for joining us on Crown Council Live today. We will finish up with this interview with Dale and Lynn Bainer. All right, welcome to Crown Council's live stream, although this is a recorded session, which is it's still just as good, right? We're good. Hey, so I am joined today by Lynn and Dale. Before we got on, I called them Crown Council's most prolific humanitarians, which I believe is true. You've been on, according to my accounts, 12 different humanitarian trips with Crown Council. Is that correct?
13.
Lynn's 13, I'm
Oh,
12. Yeah.
Okay, look at Lynn. She's kind of smiling at that.
Yeah.
Very cool. Will you introduce yourselves and just let the rest of the Crown Council, if they don't know who you are?
Well, I'm Dale Boehner, and this is my wife, Lynn.
And where are you guys coming from today?
We live in central Indiana, just north of Indianapolis.
Very good. And that is not a blanket on Dale's lap. That is a puppy.
That is our little, very, very much needful Maltese who thinks he's a member of the household that runs everything.
He is. Good
Yeah,
boy.
pretty much as it does, actually.
If you were at the annual event last year, the Boehners received a humanitarian award for all of their work and service that they've done as part of trips. And we have been on, I've been on 6 humanitarian trips, and I believe all of them but one have been with you guys. I mean, we have been on, we're always together in that fun fall trip. So I'm grateful for our time spent. They just returned from the Dominican with our trip that went with Spencer, right? You were with Spencer.
No, Joey.
You were with Joey. You were the trip
Joey.
before. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys went on the earlier trip,
Yeah.
and we thought it'd be fun to not only talk about that experience, but why humanitarian work has been such a big part of their lives and how it's affected them and what they've learned. So can we talk about that? Why? Let's start there. Why are these yearly humanitarian trips so meaningful? Why is it something that you've chosen to do?
Well, I'll start out.
Okay.
Prefacing that by, I was fortunate enough at an early age, right before my senior year in high school, to participate in a humanitarian trip to Honduras, island of Roatan. There was all summer long, every month it would change. There was a group of us college and high school students that went down to help rebuild a church that had been destroyed in a hurricane. And after that, I thought, man, that is so cool. I kind of made a promise to myself that, if I'm ever in a position where I can do this again, I will. So fast forward after, getting into dentistry, and then the opportunities arose with the Crown Council. That's awesome. And before I could go, Mary Beth Brown was scheduled to go, and then her partner backed out at the last minute, and so she asked Lynn, and then I'll let Lynn take it from there.
No, it was an opportunity that I'd never been blessed with. And so I asked Dale what his thoughts were on me going, and he said, I don't have the words to tell you, you'll experience it once you get there. And so it literally changed my life. And I think, true enjoyment comes when we align ourselves with God's will. And part of that is by serving. And so we've been blessed to make positive impacts on other people's lives by providing care, to those that wouldn't have it necessarily the access to it. And it not only, helps improve their self-esteem, but it helps them from a personal standpoint and also a professional standpoint.
Very good.
And along that too, we've over the 13 years been blessed with working with great dental teams and made lifelong relationships. And the Esperanza has now become part of our family. We love them. And it's funny, when we go back to some of the villages, the people remember us and come up to us and thank us. Even though we can't speak the language, we know, what they're saying to us. So it's just been such a blessing to both of us.
I love that. I know Sarah Heap, we interviewed her a couple of weeks ago, and she said when she returns from the Dominican trip, she always has one goal, I'm gonna learn Spanish. I gotta learn Spanish. And then that doesn't happen, but very good. Hey, well, maybe Dale, can you go first? Some of the biggest lessons you've learned professionally and personally through your service and time on these humanitarian trips.
Well, one of the best lessons that, is self-evident is that, but for the grace of God, we do not choose our birth parents or where we are. And humbling ourselves and leaving egos behind and just simply going with the mindset of, I have a skill I'm willing to share with another human being in need and see what happens. I'll help you. I'm willing to help. I don't expect anything in return, but yet I'm blessed many times over for having had that experience.
I love that. Thanks, Dale. How about you, Lynn?
I think leaving our own comfort zones and being exposed to poverty and hardship truly changes us. These are people just like us who have families, who have needs and want to be loved and cared for and want to serve a purpose. And I'm going to start crying probably, but each time we've gone, each time we've gone over 13 years and going into each of the communities and hearing the associates' stories and how Esperanza has helped them is so inspirational. And, we come back here and we think we have difficult times. You just stop and think about where you've come from. And as I said before, it just puts things into perspective. And so it just changes you. It really does.
Yeah, I love that.
Sorry.
Don't be sorry. Very good. We have a lot of Crown Council members and team members who are signed up in 2023 who have never been on humanitarian trips. Any advice that you'd share with them or someone that's never been before, whether it's how to prepare or what they can expect or what you'd say to a young Dale or Lynn going on their first trip? And any advice you'd give?
Well, I'd say just go with an open mind and an open heart and have, no expectation other than trying to serve in any capacity possible. I mean, from simplest little things of helping organize things and pack up and move and set up. You don't have to actually be a doctor, a nurse, or a physician, or a hygienist. In fact, on Lynn's first trip, she was automatically made an honorary hygienist because they didn't have enough people to clean teeth. So just go with the attitude, I'm here to help, direct me. I am your servant. You tell me what to do. And part of that is beneficial in that you're in a different country with a different culture, and the local people organizing it may have a different way of doing things or the way they want things done. Don't try to instill in them the way you do things at home, because it's not going to work well. It will cause problems and hardships. So be the servant and wait to be instructed on how best you can help serve them.
Great advice. Lynn, anything to add?
I just think respect the people you serve, respect the team that you're with, practice love, celebrate your achievements, keep your expectations low and your acceptance high. Oh, and just be thankful to God for the opportunity.
Yeah, no, it's about the people. It's not about the
It
teeth.
is about the people.
Hmm.
The teeth are important, but it's more
As-
important about, the person around it, the teeth.
As Roy always said,
Yeah.
it's about the people.
I love that. Very good. You've had an incredible career, Dr. Boehner. I was wondering if, just switching gears just a little bit, to someone starting off dentistry, or if you were entering the dental world now, what advice would you share if there was like a top 3 things that you would do the same or do different? Is there anything that you could share with the rest of the group?
Well, the only regret I have was not running into this organization, which didn't exist then when I first got out of dental school. So, after 10 years in practice and being fortunate enough to interact early on with Walter Haley and Mac Lee and Jolene Jackson, and hang out in Hunt, Texas and Kerrville, and Plan Marketing Associates. And, when Steve was still a little bit green behind the ears. And, so basically we're lifers, but I would say, throw your ego out the window, forget the scarcity mentality that's prevalent in certain areas of our profession, and develop a strong mastermind network of people that may have skill sets a little different than yours. Figure out what procedures you like to do the most and focus on being the best you can at providing that, and then align yourself with other professionals that can fill in the gap elsewhere. But continuing education, continue to learn and grow, expanding your horizons with associations like the Coys Center, David Hornbrook's courses, Mark Montgomery's, some of the younger guys now like David Rice and his Ignite DDS. These are invaluable resources, but the single most valuable piece to me was developing the mastermind group. I mean, I still share monthly with them, and it's a nice outlet to sound ideas off of your colleagues. And we go about with the understanding that no topic is off limits, but whatever is discussed does not go any further. It's just strictly confidential among our group. And, I just wish that mentality was more prevalent throughout the profession. Hopefully I think it is becoming that way, but especially now with all the changes after COVID and the regulations and things like that, it's invaluable. I, in some aspects, feel that I retired at a most opportune time, because I can enjoy the best of dentistry by giving back with not having the administrative and HR and all the other obligations that come with it. So, I'm actually having more fun now on the back 9
Nice.
or the 18th hole than I did all prior to that. So
It's great to hear. Very good. And anything to add there, Lynn?
No, I think he covered it all. I just think, you need to set goals, seek out mentors. I think the Crown Council, Eagle U, has been so much a part of our life, and we love it. And we love everybody that works for the Crown Council. And you guys are just great.
Thank you.
big family.
Yes, it is a big family. Mhm.
Well, I love you both. We those experiences that you had, and I can't imagine how many people you've experienced Dominican trips with. Your circle must be so big of memories, but I cherish the time that we've spent together. I'm so grateful for everything that you've done as leaders and as friends, as a couple that I look to with great faith. I just am thankful for both of you. So thanks.
As we are you.
Yes, likewise.
We're going to continue doing this as long as God allows us.
When I present you with the 25th Humanitarian Trip Award, it'll be great. All right, you guys. Thanks so much. I appreciate you both.
Well, thank you.
Thank you and have a very blessed and Merry Christmas,
Yeah,
Stu.
take care. Mm.